Hello, friends. Welcome to another Stamp With Me Tuesday. Tonight, we're making a fun fold card. I feel like I have echo. Do I have echo? Oh, I must. Let's try that. Let's try that again. All right. Welcome to another Stamp With Me Tuesday. Tonight, we are making a fun fold card. It's a really cool one. You can see it right here. It has a double opening. Let me show you what I mean by this. So it kind of has this Z fold on the front, and you open it, and you have a sentiment here. But then the whole card just opens like a regular card so that you have space to write on the inside. Is that not so cool? And it's so easy to make. So that's what we're going to make this evening. If you are here and joining me live, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know if you are stamping along with me this evening or if you are just watching. If you are catching the replay, I'd love to hear if you are stamping along as well, or if you're going to stamp after you watch. Either way is great because I just want you to take these ideas and use them, right? If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping. I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist by using stamps, ink, and paper to make beautiful handmade cards and gifts just like this one. So let's go ahead and get started. Jean, you're watching live. Hello, hello. Angela, you're new to stamping. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to make my workspace look just a little bit bigger so we can get started. I'm going to set my card aside. Now, all the dimensions for this are in the description to the video. You can also find them over on my website, and there's a free downloadable tutorial, a downloadable project sheet over there for you as well. So you can grab that so you have all those dimensions. Donnie, you're watching for now. You're going to make it later. Awesome. Diane, you're watching. You had clever and surprise. All right. Well, hopefully, hopefully you agree that it is clever and surprise. So we have a bunch of pieces here. I am using the Turtly Cute Designer Series paper. I, of course, am not using the turtle side. I'm using the fun print side. I have two pieces that are 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I have two pieces that I believe, if I'm remembering right, are 4 inches by 3 1/4. And I have one piece that is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. I'm trying to remember all these things. I have a piece of cardstock for the inside. I don't remember this measurement. And then some cardstock to layer it on. But really, this could be any size you kind of wanted, as long as it's not too big. The same thing for the inside of the card. We have some pieces for the inside. And then we have our card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to fold this in half. This is just going to be our regular kind of card base. And I have another piece that is 8 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay, and we are going to do some scoring on this. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer, and I am going to score this. We're going to score it at 2 1/2 and 5. So I love that there is a scoring blade and a cutting blade. The cutting blade is the dark gray. The scoring blade is this lighter gray. So I'm going to use the scoring blade and score this at 2 1/2. And then I'm going to move it over to 5 inches over here on the left. And I'm going to score it again. So we've scored that at 2 1/2 and 5. And now I'm going to fold this. I'm going to fold it on the right score line. And then I'm going to fold it back on the left score line. Okay, so we have the left score line, the right score line, and it just kind of folds like a Z. Or an S. I think it looks more like an S. But anyway, usually people call it a Z fold. I'm just going to give those a squish. Now, let's start putting this together. I'm going to start by grabbing my card base. And I want to put one of those pieces of Designer Series paper on the front. So this one's going to go on the front. This, of course, is 4 by 5 1/4. We need to put this down first before we put the other piece, that front folded piece on. I'm just going to put that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do the inside while I'm here. So we're going to put the other large piece, my polka dotted piece. We're going to put this one on the inside. Hello, Carol and Lisa and Shannon and Monica. Wow. We got all the friends here this evening. Welcome, welcome. I'm not going to stamp this inside sentiment. I can't talk tonight. I did not do my vocal warm-ups. I didn't do any of my tongue twisters. I do tongue twisters with my students. So I've learned quite a few. I've learned quite a few tongue twisters, but I did not do them before I started. I should have gotten my mouth warmed up. Anyway, I'm not going to stamp this inside layer. That's the part that, you can write your message on. So I'm just going to adhere it to the inside. Just center that. Now you could skip it. You could just put a piece of white in there, but I love the way that designer series paper looks on the inside. It just looks so festive, even when you open it, right? It's an easy thing that makes your card just look that much more exciting. So now I have that Z fold piece that we cut and folded, and I'm going to adhere this. So I'm putting adhesive on the back of the largest section. And this can kind of go anywhere you want on the front. I like to put it over here towards the left, just a little bit. I like things off center just a little bit. So I put that off center. And then we're going to open this up. I'm going to adhere some pieces in here too. So put this one inside. I'm using the stripe. I love these stripes. Now, I think that the color in this pattern paper is actually balmy blue, but I find that I can cheat and use it with Pool Party. And I love Pool Party more than I love balmy blue. I don't know why, but I really love Pool Party. So, all right. So the smaller piece goes in this inside, right there in the center one. We're not going to put anything there because this gets folded over. And we have another piece of Pool Party. And this one is, I got to measure it. It is 3.5 by 4.25. Okay. This is going to adhere right to that front of our Z fold. So I'm just going to put some adhesive here because it's the smaller piece. And then I want to line up the edges on the left and on the top and the bottom. So we're just going to line that up there and let that stick itself. Let the glue set a little bit. And then that other piece of stripe is going to go on the front. And then it's going to be time for doing some stamping. Finally, I wanted to show you how to put the card together first, and then we're going to stamp it and finish it off. So there we go. So cute. And I, of course, have two more samples to show you. So I just love the way that opens. So that the front opens there, and then it opens again to show the inside. So let's do some stamping. I need to grab a little, what I want to say, I need to grab a scrap paper. I can't talk this evening. So I just have some scrap white. I am going to use, I have to show you what I'm going to use. I forgot. I'm going to use, this is the brand new Pop-Up Petals stamp set. This is going to be one of the online exclusives coming in November. And it is so cute. I love it. It's a 2-step stamping set. So you can stamp in your flowers. And it's just, I love the sentiments. It's kind of like a thank you set. And it's just kind of bold and graphic. Yeah, I think it's super cute. This is also in the new packaging. So Stampin' Up! Is going to some new packaging. And this is these new envelopes that they're coming in. So it's really flat, going to be easier to store. And the back just tucks right in there. I already have mine on blocks. And they're moving to the dies being in the same size envelope. I really like it being the same size. I can't wait till my whole set is like that. Because right now they're like 3 different sizes and it kind of drives me crazy. So let's do some stamping. I'm going to stamp the little like jug vase with some Pool Party. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp the flowers in basic gray. You could do them with black with some memento. But I chose to do them in basic gray. I just found it was like a little bit softer. So I'm going to stamp these in basic gray. Cute. They're just so sweet. And then I'm going to grab my Poppy Parade and I'm going to stamp my flowers. Now, if these don't line up, you have it turned upside down and you just need to flip it over. I need to come in here. I think I'm going to take a Sharpie and like make a little mark on the top so I know which way is up. So it is two-step. You want to just kind of, you can't see this in the video. It looks like I'm touching the paper right now. I'm not touching the paper. I'm very, very close to the paper. But my pinky fingers are like holding my stamp just above the paper. And that's just to kind of help you get it in the right spot. So let me see. I also want to do just a little bit of punching. I have the new 3 banners punch. This punch is so awesome. I love it. I've already used it so many times. I'm just going to punch out 1 banner. And I'm going to grab the sentiment that says, thanks for being there. Thanks for being there. But I just want the thanks. I'm going to cover up the for being there with a little bit of Scotch tape. And then, and you could just do it like, you could very carefully ink it like this, which is what I usually do. Like when I'm just stamping on my own, I just do it very carefully because I'm too lazy to get out the tape. So anyway, but if you want to be more careful, tape works very well. So we're just going to stamp this on this little banner. There we go. And I need to stamp 1 more Poppy Parade item, which is the other sentiment. And this one says, you make my life better just by being in it. Isn't that sweet? So we'll stamp that for the inside. Then we have to finish our flowers. So we'll put the Poppy Parade away. I'm going to grab some Darling Duckling. And I'm going to stamp the centers with the Darling Duckling. Again, if they don't line up really great, you just need to flip it upside down. This one I've noticed the center over here is a little bit more oval than round. So the ovally looking one goes on the left. There we go. Now, sadly, the only downfall of this set is that we don't have a stamp to do the leaves. So I'm just going to grab my Lemon Lime Twist Stampin' Blends and just color those in. Super quick and easy. And then we'll cut them out. So I'm going to grab the dies. These dies right here, I think are to make like pop-up things that you can cut out the flowers and then like make an inside to your card. So the flowers pop up on the inside. I don't quite know. I haven't tried it yet. I love the images. So I've just been using the images. So I want to grab the 2 for the flowers and the vase. The other thing I want to cut, I have the Stylish Shapes dies, and I want to grab the largest circle. We're going to cut a Poppy Parade circle just because I felt like when I was putting this together, it just needed something for my vase and my flowers to kind of rest on. So I'm going to cut a Poppy Parade circle. See if we can load this all up at once. I'll cut this off so it'll fit better. I always like to maximize the amount of items that I am cutting on my cutting plate because I don't like to cut more than I have to. So we'll put this on here. Get that lined up. I'm going to grab my sticky notes. Got some fun orange, really bright orange sticky notes. Put that down. And we'll put the flower one on too. So there we go. Just get those where they need to be and just putting the sticky notes on to hold them in place. And then I have my Poppy Parade and I'm going to grab that big circle and we'll just put that over on the edge and put the top on. and run this through my cut and emboss machine, which is over here on my shelf. You can't see it, but I'm just cranking it through. Whoa. You get a workout. This is the exercise portion of stamping. So there we go. There's our circle. Pull off our sticky notes. Save those for the next time. Just going to set all my dies over here. Now we can add this to the front of our card. We'll put the inside first. So this stamp set, it is so cute. And I just launched, so registration just opened for a mega card class. And what is really cool about this card class is that I couldn't decide which stamps to use with it. So I actually designed it to work with two different stamp sets. One of them is this pop-up petals, and the other is the on display stamp set, which is so cute. It has all these little things in it. Anyway, so it can work with either of those. They're the exact same card designs, but you can use either stamp set, and I show you what all of those look like. These are quick and easy cards. You don't even need the bundle. You only need the stamp set. It is just like some stamping and putting together and just really super quick and easy. It's going to be so much fun. You get 5 different card designs. You'll get enough supplies to make 2 of each. So you get to make 10 cards. And actually, you can choose to double that to make 20 cards and get a really, really good deal on it. So, yeah. So registration just opened for that today. It is going to close in a couple of weeks. So October 26th. Registration is not open very long for this one. So you definitely want to jump in and grab it. It's going to be a good little class. And it's easy. It's just a do on your own type of class. There's no videos or anything. So you can make it whenever it's most convenient for you. And it's just a great way to make a giant stack of cards. I almost called it a Stamp-A-Stack because it reminds me of like the old Stamp-A-Stacks. I'm just going to make a giant stack. All right. We're adding the vase and the flowers with Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm just sliding the flowers under the top of the vase. And I'm going to add my thanks, my little banner, and I'm going to put a Stampin' Dimensional on one end of it, on the triangle end, and I'm going to add adhesive to the left end. Lisa, you love this. Oh, I'm so glad. The other thing is, so this stamp set is going to be available starting in November. But if you don't want to wait to get it, you want to get it now, you can add it to your Stampin' Up starter kit when you join Stampin' Up in October. And when you join in October, they're offering an amazing deal. You can get $125 worth of product for only $35, which is just unheard of. I took some of the petal pink braided trim and I just pulled out a piece of it because I just like to use it. I don't like the trim. I don't like the braided trim. It's too thick. I guess it would, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, it's going to make your card really bulky. It could be fine. It could be fine like on the front. But anyway, but I really, really love it to pull it apart because I love this petal pink twine. And it's like, it's rough. And so it holds the bows really nicely. Nicer than baker's twine, I think. Or linen thread. It's thicker. All right. I'm going to put this on with a mini glue dot. So we'll just stick down. Did you see what I did? I just tried to undo my bow when I tried to pick it up. So I just stuck it down on the mini glue dot. And then we'll pick it up with the mini glue dot and try not to untie it. And then I'm going to just put it on the top right there. And I want to do one more thing. We're going to add some little dots. I have the party dots. The party dots. I think that's what, no, they're rainbow adhesive back dots. Lisa, you're going to try that with the trim. Definitely give it a try. It's my favorite way to use it. So I'm going to add some pool party dots, which I'm pretty much out of. Sad face. We're just going to put those on the front. So there we go. There is our finished little thank you card using that new pop-up petals. And it just opens like that. And then you can write your message all the way inside. So much fun. Let me show you my other samples. So I have two other samples. One of them uses the Beautiful Pumpkins bundle with the Autumn Toile stamps, pattern paper. So I put the pumpkin on the front. This is stamped with Cajun Craze. And there's actually two different stamps to make this pumpkin, which gives it that difference in shades. So what I did is that the bolder stamp, I actually stamped it off on some scrap paper first so that I could stamp the detail with the Cajun Craze and it would be darker. So I just used the same color. Now you could use two different colors. It looks really great if you do like pumpkin pie and Cajun Craze, but I just decided to do just Cajun Craze because it seemed to match the pattern paper better. I added some of the die cut leaves. I used some early espresso twine, and then I used some new kind of, I think they're called earthy matte dots. They're brand new. They are also coming in November. And then, of course, that opens. So grateful to have a friend like you. And you can see this grateful. That's actually what I used right here. So I used that same technique of covering up the parts I didn't want with Scotch tape. So I could just ink up the grateful to have grateful on the front because I only wanted the grateful there. So, and then, of course, inside. Isn't that sweet? All right. And then I made a Christmas card. This is using the Festive Friends stamp set. We're going to be using this stamp set for the November online card class. You can earn that card class free when you place at least a $100 order with me in the month of October. So we're going to do this. We're going to use this little guy in November. So have a Merry Christmas. I love these kind of mid-century modern stars on there. And this pattern paper is the Peaceful Garden pattern paper. So you open it up, it says, may the spirit of the season bring you hope and happiness. The sentiment, I think, is from the Jolly Holly stamp set. Sometimes I mix and match sentiments and stamps. So there we go. Isn't that cute? So there's my three cards, three very different looks, all using the same fun fold. Right now, I'm going to pop over to my Facebook page. I'm going to post a picture of this over there. If you use this fun fold and you make a card with it, I hope that you'll come over and you will comment on that post with a picture of your card so we can all see it, because I love seeing how everyone takes this idea and then uses different paper, uses different stamps, and comes up with something completely different. So definitely go do that. And make sure to go over and read the comments and see what other people post too. So thank you all again for joining me tonight. I will see y'all next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday is our October online card class where we're going to be using the Gathering Moments bundle to make some really cute cards. I love these cards. I love these cards. This is going to be a good month. So make sure you join me. We're going to be making 3 cards next week. I will see you there. I'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.